In the year 3045, humanity had spread across the stars like wildfire, colonizing planets and moons in a vast expanse of space, governed by the United Earth Federation, UEF. The UEF was a sprawling empire, its influence reaching far and wide, its power absolute. At the heart of this empire stood the Iron Throne, a symbol of authority and control, forged from the remnants of Earth's first space station. The station, once a beacon of human ingenuity and hope, had been melted down and reforged in a sacred ritual, its metal now imbued with the spirit of humanity's journey to the stars. The Iron Throne was more than just a seat of power. It was a relic, a reminder of the past and a promise of the future. It stood in the Grand Hall of the UES capital, a towering structure of black iron and gleaming steel, its surface etched with intricate patterns that told the story of humanity's ascent. At the base of the throne was an ancient inscription, partially obscured by centuries of wear. "Beware the fire that binds us." When Aria Voss ascended to the Iron Throne, she was barely 30 years old. She was a woman of striking beauty, with sharp features and piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right through you. Her intelligence was matched only by her ambition, and she had risen through the ranks of the UEF's political hierarchy with a speed that left many in awe and others in fear. Aria was a visionary, with a plan to expand humanity's reach beyond the known galaxy and into the uncharted territories of the cosmos. As she took her place on the Iron Throne, Aria felt a strange energy emanating from it, a hum that resonated deep within her bones. She had heard the legends of the throne, of course, but she had always dismissed them as mere superstition. Now, as she sat on the throne for the first time, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to it than met the eye. Her first act as Empress was to call for a meeting of her closest advisors. The Grand Hall was filled with the UEF's most powerful figures: General Thorne, the head of the military; Dr. Ilara, the chief scientist; and Senator Leora, the leader of the political faction. They stood before her, their expressions a mix of respect and apprehension. "Aria," General Thorne began, his voice deep and commanding, "we have much to discuss." The Black Hand. "Wait," Aria interrupted, her eyes fixed on the throne. She reached down and ran her fingers over the ancient inscription at its base. "What do you know about this?" The room fell silent. Dr. Ilara stepped forward, her eyes narrowing as she examined the inscription. "It's an old warning, Aria. Some say it's a message from the first explorers, a cautionary tale about the dangers of overreaching." Aria's brow furrowed. "A cautionary tale? About what?" Dr. Ilara hesitated. "There are rumors, of course. Some believe the Iron Throne was forged from more than just the remnants of the space station. They say it contains fragments of an ancient alien technology, a power source that could give us unimaginable strength, but at a great cost." Aria's eyes widened. "What kind of cost?" "Corruption," Dr. Ilara replied softly. "Madness. The legends say that those who seek to harness the throne's power often lose themselves in the process." Aria felt a chill run down her spine. She had always believed in the power of science and reason, but now she couldn't ignore the feeling that there was something more at play. She looked at her advisors, each of them waiting for her next move. "General Thorne," she said, her voice steady, "I want you to increase security around the throne. No one is to touch it without my express permission." Thorne nodded, his expression grave. "As you command, Empress." "Dr. Ilara," Aria continued, "I want you to assemble a team of your best scientists. I want to know everything about this inscription and what it means. And Senator Leora, I need you to gather intelligence on the Black Hand. I want to know their plans and their weaknesses." Leora bowed her head. "It will be done, Empress." As her advisors dispersed, Aria remained seated on the Iron Throne, her mind racing. She had always believed that power was a tool to be wielded, a means to an end. But now, as she felt the strange energy of the throne coursing through her, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was playing with forces beyond her understanding. That night, Arya couldn't sleep. She paced the halls of the capital, her thoughts a whirlwind of possibilities and fears. She knew that the Black Hand was a threat, but she also sensed that there was something deeper at play, something hidden within the very heart of the UEF. As she wandered through the dimly lit corridors, she came across a hidden chamber, its entrance concealed behind a tapestry depicting the first human landing on Mars. Curiosity piqued. Arya pushed aside the tapestry and stepped inside. The chamber was small, filled with ancient relics and dusty scrolls. In the center of the room stood a pedestal, upon which rested a small ornate box. Arya approached the box, her heart pounding. She opened it to find a single glowing crystal. As she touched it, she felt a surge of energy, a vision flashing before her eyes. She saw a distant planet, its surface covered in fire and ash, and a voice whispered in her mind, "Beware the fire that binds us." Arya's eyes snapped open, and she realized that the crystal was more than just a relic. It was a key, a piece of a puzzle that had been hidden away for centuries. She knew then that her journey had only just begun, and that the secrets of the Iron Throne would lead her down a path she could never have imagined. As she left the hidden chamber, Arya felt a renewed sense of purpose. She would uncover the truth about the Iron Throne, no matter the cost, and she would ensure that humanity's future was one of hope and progress, not bound by the fires of the past. The following morning, Arya Voss stood in the grand hall of the UEF capital, her eyes scanning the room as her advisors gathered. The air was thick with tension, the weight of recent events pressing down on everyone present. The discovery of the hidden chamber and the cryptic warning from the crystal had left Arya with a sense of urgency. She knew that the Black Hand was a threat, but now she suspected that their rebellion was just the beginning of something far more sinister. General Thorne entered the hall, his stride purposeful and his expression stern. "Empress," he greeted, bowing slightly. "We've increased security around the Iron Throne as you commanded. No one will get near it without our knowledge." "Good," Arya replied, her voice steady. "And what of the Black Hand? Have we learned anything new?" Thorne's eyes darkened. "They've been more active than we initially thought. We've intercepted communications indicating that they're planning a major assault on one of our key installations. They're targeting the research facility on Epsilon Prime." Arya's heart sank. Epsilon Prime was home to some of the UEF's most advanced research projects, including the development of new propulsion technologies and energy sources. If the Black Hand managed to infiltrate and sabotage the facility, it would be a devastating blow to the UEF's progress. "Dr. Ilara." Arya turned to her chief scientist, who had just entered the room. "What can you tell us about Epsilon Prime's defenses?" Dr. Ilara stepped forward, her expression grave. "The facility is heavily fortified, Empress. It has multiple layers of security, including automated defense systems and a contingent of elite soldiers. However, the Black Hand is resourceful and ruthless. If they've managed to infiltrate our communications, they might have inside information." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "We need to reinforce Epsilon Prime immediately. General Thorne, I want you to send a fleet to provide additional support. And Dr. Ilara, I need you to coordinate with the facility scientists to ensure they have everything they need to defend their work." Thorne and Ilara nodded in unison, their expressions resolute. As they prepared to leave, Arya's thoughts turned to the hidden chamber and the crystal she had discovered. She knew that the warning it had given her was more than just a cryptic message. It was a key to understanding the true nature of the Iron Throne and the power it held. "Wait," Arya called out, stopping Thorne and Ilara in their tracks. "There's something else. I need you both to know about the hidden chamber I found last night." Thorne's brow furrowed. "Hidden chamber?" Arya nodded. "It's in the lower levels of the capital, concealed behind a tapestry. Inside, I found a crystal that gave me a vision. It showed me a distant planet, its surface covered in fire and ash. The voice in my vision warned me to beware the fire that binds us." Ilara's eyes widened. "That sounds like the legend of the Firestone." "The Firestone," Arya repeated, Her curiosity piqued. Yes, Ilara explained. It's an ancient artifact, said to be linked to an alien race that once ruled the galaxy. They were destroyed by their own hubris, and the Firestone was left behind as a warning. The legends say that it's connected to the Iron Throne, and that whoever seeks to harness its power risks corruption and madness. Arya felt a chill run down her spine. So the Black Hand, they might be after the Firestone. It's possible, Ilara replied. If they believe the Firestone can give them the power to overthrow you, they won't hesitate to seek it out. Thorn's expression hardened. We need to secure the hidden chamber immediately. If the Black Hand knows about it, they'll stop at nothing to get their hands on whatever's inside. Arya nodded, her mind already racing with plans. General Thorn, I want you to assign a team of elite soldiers to guard the chamber. And Dr. Ilara, I need you to lead a team of scientists to study the crystal and the chamber. We need to understand what we're dealing with. Thorn and Ilara bowed their heads in agreement. As they left to carry out their orders, Arya felt a renewed sense of determination. She knew that the Black Hand was a formidable enemy, but she also knew that she had the resources and the intelligence to outmaneuver them. The key was to stay one step ahead, to anticipate their moves and counter them before they could strike. Over the next few days, Arya worked tirelessly to fortify the UEF's defenses. She coordinated with military leaders, scientists, and political allies, ensuring that everyone was on the same page and working towards a common goal. The tension in the capital was palpable, but Arya's leadership inspired confidence and resolve. As the fleet prepared to depart for Epsilon Prime, Arya received a message from Senator Leora, who had been gathering intelligence on the Black Hand. The message was brief but alarming. The Black Hand had infiltrated the highest levels of the UEF's government, and they were planning a coordinated attack on multiple targets. Arya knew that she had to act quickly. She called an emergency meeting with her advisors, her expression grim. We have to assume that the Black Hand knows about the hidden chamber and the crystal. They might already be planning to use the Firestone against us. Thorn's eyes narrowed. We need to strike first. If we can catch them off guard, we might be able to dismantle their operation before they can launch their assault. Arya nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. We need to set a trap. We'll use the hidden chamber as bait, and when the Black Hand comes for it, we'll be ready. Ilara's eyes widened. But what if they manage to harness the Firestone's power? We don't know what kind of destruction it could unleash. Arya's expression hardened. Then we'll have to make sure they never get the chance. We'll use everything at our disposal to stop them. And if necessary, we'll destroy the Firestone ourselves. Thorn nodded, his expression resolute. It's a risky plan, but it might be our only chance. I'll prepare the troops and set the trap. As the meeting ended, Arya felt a mixture of hope and dread. She knew that the coming days would be the most critical of her reign, and that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. But she also knew that she had the strength and the determination to see it through, no matter the cost. As the fleet departed for Epsilon Prime, Arya stood on the balcony of the capital, her eyes fixed on the stars. She felt the weight of the Iron Throne on her shoulders, its energy coursing through her veins. She knew that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but she also knew that she was not alone. With her advisors by her side and the spirit of humanity guiding her, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The journey to Epsilon Prime was tense and fraught with anticipation. Arya Voss stood on the bridge of the flagship, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the planet's coordinates. The fleet had been mobilized swiftly, thanks to the coordinated efforts of General Thorn and the UEF's military. The soldiers were on high alert, their training and discipline evident in their focused expressions. As they approached Epsilon Prime, Arya felt a sense of unease. The planet was a marvel of human ingenuity, its surface dotted with sprawling research facilities and bustling cities. It was a beacon of progress, a symbol of humanity's reach into the stars. But now, it was under threat, and Arya knew that the Black Hand's assault could set them back decades. Empress, General Thorne's voice broke through her thoughts. "We're approaching Epsilon Prime. The facility has been alerted and is on full lockdown." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "What about the defenses?" Thorne's expression was grim. "They're as prepared as they can be. But the Black Hand is cunning. We need to be ready for anything." Arya turned to Dr. Ilara, who had been working tirelessly to understand the crystal and its connection to the Firestone. "Dr. Ilara, any new insights?" Ilara shook her head. "Not yet. Empress, the crystal's energy is unlike anything I've ever encountered. It's as if it's alive, pulsing with a power that defies our current understanding. But I'm certain it's linked to the Firestone, and that the Black Hand is after it." Arya's eyes narrowed. "We need to find out more. If the Black Hand gets their hands on the Firestone, it could be catastrophic." Just then, the ship's communications officer interrupted. "Empress, we're receiving a transmission from the facility. It's urgent." Arya nodded, and the transmission was patched through. The face of Dr. Marcus, the facility's lead scientist, appeared on the holographic display. His expression was one of panic. "Empress Voss, we've detected an incoming fleet. They're not ours. The Black Hand is here." Arya's heart pounded in her chest. "How many ships?" "Over 100, Dr. Marcus replied. "They're moving fast, and our defenses are strained. We need your fleet now." Arya turned to Thorne. "Engage the fleet. We need to buy them some time." Thorne nodded, his expression resolute. "On it, Empress." As the UEF fleet engaged the Black Hand's ships, Arya felt a surge of adrenaline. The battle was fierce, the two fleets clashing in a display of light and energy. Arya watched the holographic display intently, her mind racing with strategies and countermeasures. "Empress," Ilara's voice broke through the chaos. "I think I've found something. The crystal is responding to the energy signatures of the Black Hand ships. It's as if it's trying to warn us." Arya's eyes widened. "Show me." Ilara brought up a secondary display, showing a series of pulsing energy readings. "The crystal is resonating with a specific frequency. It's almost like it's trying to guide us to the source of the Black Hand's power." Arya felt a chill run down her spine. "Can we use this to our advantage?" Ilara nodded. "If we can isolate the frequency, we might be able to disrupt their communications and disable their ships." Arya turned to Thorne. "Can you do it?" Thorne's eyes narrowed. "It's risky, but it might be our best chance. I'll coordinate with the fleet." As the UEF fleet continued to engage the Black Hand ships, Arya watched the holographic display with bated breath. The energy readings from the crystal provided a crucial advantage, allowing the UEF to target the Black Hand ships with precision. One by one, the enemy ships began to falter, their defenses weakened by the disruption. "Empress," Thorne's voice broke through the chaos. "We've disabled most of their fleet. The facility is holding, but we need to move quickly. The Black Hand is still trying to infiltrate." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "We need to get to the facility. If the Black Hand gets their hands on the Firestone, it could be too late." As the UEF fleet moved to secure the facility, Arya felt a sense of urgency. The Black Hand was cunning and resourceful, and they wouldn't give up easily. Arya knew that the next few hours would be critical, and that the fate of humanity hung in the balance. As they approached the facility, Arya could see the damage wrought by the Black Hand's assault. Buildings were on fire, and the air was thick with smoke and debris. The UEF's elite soldiers moved swiftly, securing the perimeter and engaging the Black Hand's ground forces. "Empress," Dr. Ilara's voice broke through the chaos. "We need to get to the central lab. The Firestone is stored there, and we need to ensure it's safe." Arya nodded, her expression grim. "Let's move." As they made their way through the facility, Arya felt the weight of the Iron Throne on her shoulders. The energy of the throne seemed to pulse with a newfound intensity, as if it was guiding her towards the Firestone. She knew that the next few moments would be crucial, and that the fate of humanity rested in her hands. As they reached the central lab, Arya could see the Black Hand's soldiers converging on the entrance. The UEF's elite soldiers engaged them in a fierce firefight, their training and discipline evident in their coordinated efforts. Arya felt a surge of pride as she watched her soldiers fight with determination and resolve. "Empress," Dr. Ilara's voice broke through the chaos. "We need to get inside. The Firestone is in the central vault." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "We need to secure it. If the Black Hand gets their hands on it, it could be catastrophic." As they moved towards the central vault, Arya felt a strange energy emanating from within. The air seemed to hum with a power that defied understanding. She knew that the Firestone was more than just an ancient artifact. It was a key to understanding the true nature of the Iron Throne and the power it held. As they reached the vault, Arya could see the Black Hand's soldiers converging on the entrance. The UEF's elite soldiers engaged them in a fierce firefight, their training and discipline evident in their coordinated efforts. Arya felt a surge of pride as she watched her soldiers fight with determination and resolve. "Empress," Dr. Ilara's voice broke through the chaos. "We need to get inside. The Firestone is in the central vault." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "We need to secure it. If the Black Hand gets their hands on it, it could be catastrophic." As they moved towards the central vault, Arya felt a strange energy emanating from within. The air seemed to hum with a power that defied understanding. She knew that the Firestone was more than just an ancient artifact. It was a key to understanding the true nature of the Iron Throne and the power it held. As they reached the vault, Arya could see the Black Hand's soldiers converging on the entrance. The UEF's elite soldiers engaged them in a fierce firefight, their training and discipline evident in their coordinated efforts. Arya felt a surge of pride as she watched her soldiers fight with determination and resolve. "Empress," Dr. Ilara's voice broke through the chaos. "We need to get inside. The Firestone is in the central vault." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "We need to secure it. If the Black Hand gets their hands on it, it could be catastrophic." As they moved towards the central vault, Arya felt a strange energy emanating from within. The air seemed to hum with a power that defied understanding. She knew that the Firestone was more than just an ancient artifact. It was a key to understanding the true nature of the Iron Throne and the power it held. As they reached the vault, Arya could see the Black Hand's soldiers converging on the entrance. The UEF's elite soldiers engaged them in a fierce firefight, their training and discipline evident in their coordinated efforts. Arya felt a surge of pride as she watched her soldiers fight with determination and resolve. "Empress," Dr. Ilara's voice broke through the chaos. "We need to get inside. The Firestone is in the central vault." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "We need to secure it. If the Black Hand gets their hands on it, it could be catastrophic." As they moved towards the central vault, Arya felt a strange energy emanating from within. The air seemed to hum with a power that defied understanding. She knew that the Firestone was more than just an ancient artifact. It was a key to understanding the true nature of the Iron Throne and the power it held. As they reached the vault, Arya could see the Black Hand's soldiers converging on the entrance. The UEF's elite soldiers engaged them in a fierce firefight, their training and discipline evident in their coordinated efforts. Arya felt a surge of pride as she watched her soldiers fight with determination and resolve. "Empress," Doctor. The central vault of the research facility on Epsilon Prime was a fortress within a fortress, its thick steel doors reinforced with layers of advanced security protocols. As Arya Voss and her team approached, the sound of gunfire echoed through the corridors, a grim reminder of the Black Hand's relentless assault. The UEF's elite soldiers fought with precision and determination, but the enemy was formidable, their numbers seemingly endless. "Empress," General Thorne's voice crackled over the comm. "We're holding them off, But it won't be for long. The Black Hand is too strong. Aria's heart pounded in her chest as she reached the vault's entrance. Dr. Ilara was already working on the security panel, her fingers flying over the interface. "We need to get inside," Aria urged, her eyes scanning the chaotic scene around them. Ilara's brow furrowed in concentration. "The security protocols are more complex than I anticipated. They must have anticipated our arrival." Aria felt a chill run down her spine. "How much time do we have?" Ilara glanced up, her expression grim. "Not much. The Black Hand is closing in." As if on cue, the sound of footsteps echoed down the corridor, growing louder by the second. Aria's soldiers turned, their weapons at the ready, as a group of Black Hand operatives rounded the corner. The air was thick with tension, the two sides locked in a deadly stalemate. Empress, one of the Black Hand operatives, stepped forward, his voice cold and calculating. "You can't stop us. The Firestone is ours." Aria's eyes narrowed. "You think you can control it? You have no idea what you're dealing with." The operative sneered. "We know more than you think. The Firestone will give us the power to overthrow your precious UEF and reshape the galaxy in our image." Aria felt a surge of anger. "You're playing with forces you don't understand. The Firestone is more than just a power source. It's a curse." The operative laughed, a cold, mirthless sound. "We'll see about that." As the tension reached a breaking point, Dr. Ilara's voice broke through the chaos. "Empress, I've got it. The vault is open." Aria turned, her eyes locking onto the vault's now open door. Without hesitation, she sprinted inside, her soldiers close behind. The interior of the vault was a stark contrast to the chaos outside, its walls lined with advanced technology and glowing displays. At the center of the room stood a pedestal, upon which rested the Firestone. The Firestone was a marvel of ancient technology, its surface pulsing with a soft, blue light. As Aria approached, she could feel its energy, a hum that resonated deep within her bones. She reached out, her fingers brushing against the stone's surface, and felt a surge of power unlike anything she had ever experienced. "Empress," Ilara's voice was urgent. "We need to secure the Firestone and get out of here. The Black Hand is closing in." Aria nodded, her mind racing. "We need to transport it to the flagship. It's the only place it will be safe." As they prepared to move the Firestone, the sound of gunfire erupted outside the vault. The Black Hand had breached the facility's defenses, and the UEF's elite soldiers were fighting a desperate battle to hold them off. "Empress," Thorn's voice crackled over the comm. "We're overrun. I need to pull back." Aria's heart sank. "No, General. We need to hold them off. The Firestone is too important to lose." Thorn's voice was grim. "I understand, Empress, but we can't hold them off forever. We need a plan." Aria felt a surge of determination. "We'll create a diversion. Dr. Ilara, prepare the Firestone for transport. I'll lead a team to draw the Black Hand away." Ilara nodded, her expression resolute. "Be careful, Empress." As Aria and a small team of elite soldiers moved to create the diversion, she felt the weight of the Iron Throne on her shoulders. The energy of the throne seemed to pulse with a newfound intensity, as if it was guiding her towards the Firestone. She knew that the next few moments would be crucial, and that the fate of humanity rested in her hands. As they reached the facility's main corridor, Aria could see the Black Hand's soldiers converging on their position. The UEF's elite soldiers engaged them in a fierce firefight, their training and discipline evident in their coordinated efforts. Aria felt a surge of pride as she watched her soldiers fight with determination and resolve. "Empress," one of her soldiers shouted, "we need to move. They're too strong." Aria nodded, her mind racing. "We'll draw them deeper into the facility. It's our only chance." As they moved deeper into the facility, Aria felt the energy of the Iron Throne coursing through her veins. She knew that the Black Hand was cunning and resourceful, and that they wouldn't give up easily. But she also knew that she had the strength and the determination to see it through, no matter the cost. As they reached a junction, Arya could see the Black Hand's soldiers closing in. She raised her weapon, her eyes locked on their leader, a man with a cold, calculating gaze. "Empress," he sneered, "you can't stop us. The Firestone is ours." Arya felt a surge of anger. "You think you can control it? You have no idea what you're dealing with." The Black Hand leader laughed, a cold, mirthless sound. "We'll see about that." As the tension reached a breaking point, Arya felt the energy of the Iron Throne surge within her. She raised her weapon, her eyes locked on the Black Hand leader. "You'll never get your hands on the Firestone." With a roar, Arya and her soldiers charged, their weapons blazing. The Black Hand soldiers fought back with ferocity, but Arya's determination was unyielding. She knew that the fate of humanity rested in her hands, and that she would do whatever it took to protect it. As the battle raged on, Arya felt the energy of the Iron Throne pulse with a newfound intensity. She knew that the Firestone was more than just an ancient artifact. It was a key to understanding the true nature of the throne and the power it held, and she was determined to keep it out of the Black Hand's grasp, no matter the cost. As the Black Hand soldiers fell one by one, Arya felt a sense of hope. She knew that the battle was far from over, but she also knew that she had the strength and the determination to see it through. With the Firestone secured and the Black Hand's assault thwarted, she could focus on uncovering the secrets of the Iron Throne and ensuring humanity's future. As the dust settled and the Black Hand's remaining operatives retreated, Arya stood tall, her eyes fixed on the horizon. She knew that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but she also knew that she was not alone. With her advisors by her side and the spirit of humanity guiding her, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The battle for Epsilon Prime had been fierce, but the UEF's elite soldiers had managed to hold the line against the Black Hand's assault. The facility was secured, and the Firestone was safely transported to the flagship. As Arya Voss stood on the bridge, overseeing the final stages of the operation, she couldn't shake the feeling that the true battle had only just begun. The Firestone, now safely stored in the flagship's secure vault, pulsed with an eerie blue light. Its energy was unlike anything Arya had ever encountered, and she knew that it held secrets that could change the course of humanity's future. But she also knew that it was a dangerous power, one that could easily corrupt those who sought to wield it. "Empress," Dr. Ilara's voice broke through Arya's thoughts. "We've managed to stabilize the Firestone for now, but we need to study it further. There's something about its energy that we don't fully understand." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "I agree, but we need to be cautious. The Black Hand was willing to risk everything to get their hands on it. We need to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands again." General Thorne stepped forward, his expression grim. "Empress, we've intercepted more communications from the Black Hand. They're regrouping and planning another assault. We need to be ready." Arya's eyes narrowed. "We need to strike first. We can't let them catch us off guard again." Ilara's brow furrowed. "But we need to understand the Firestone's power. If we can harness it, we might have a weapon that could end this conflict once and for all." Arya felt a chill run down her spine. "We can't risk it. The Firestone is too dangerous. If we try to harness its power, we could unleash something we can't control." Thorne's expression hardened. "We don't have a choice, Empress. The Black Hand is too powerful. We need every advantage we can get." Arya's mind raced as she weighed her options. She knew that the Firestone was a double-edged sword, a power that could either save humanity or doom it. But she also knew that the Black Hand was a formidable enemy, and that they needed every advantage they could get. "Empress," Ilara's voice was urgent, "we need to make a decision. The Firestone's energy is unstable. If we don't stabilize it soon, it could become too dangerous to handle." Arya took a deep breath, her mind made up. "We'll stabilize the Firestone, but we won't try to harness its power. We'll use it as a last resort, if all else fails." Thorne nodded, his expression resolute. "Understood, Empress. We'll do everything we can to keep it safe." As the UEF fleet prepared to return to the capital, Arya felt a sense of unease. The Firestone was a powerful weapon, but it was also a ticking time bomb. She knew that they needed to find a way to stabilize it, but she also knew that they couldn't risk unleashing its full power. As they approached the capital, Arya received a message from Senator Leora, who had been gathering intelligence on the Black Hand. The message was brief but alarming. The Black Hand had infiltrated the highest levels of the UEF's government, and they were planning a coordinated attack on multiple targets. Arya's heart sank. "General Thorne, we need to increase security around the capital. The Black Hand is closer than we thought." Thorne nodded, his expression grim. "We'll fortify the defenses and prepare for an assault, but we need to be ready for anything." Arya turned to Ilara. "We need to study the Firestone further. If we can find a way to stabilize it, we might have a chance." Ilara nodded, her expression determined. "I'll assemble a team of our best scientists. We'll work around the clock to understand its energy and find a way to stabilize it." As the UEF fleet arrived at the capital, Arya felt a renewed sense of urgency. The Black Hand was a formidable enemy, and they needed to be ready for whatever they threw at them. But she also knew that the Firestone was their best hope, and that they needed to find a way to harness its power without risking corruption. Over the next few days, Arya worked tirelessly to fortify the UEF's defenses. She coordinated with military leaders, scientists, and political allies, ensuring that everyone was on the same page and working towards a common goal. The tension in the capital was palpable, but Arya's leadership inspired confidence and resolve. As the scientists worked to stabilize the Firestone, Arya received a series of disturbing reports. The Black Hand was growing bolder, launching small-scale attacks on UEF installations across the galaxy. It was clear that they were testing the UEF's defenses, looking for weaknesses they could exploit. Arya knew that they needed to strike back, to show the Black Hand that they were not to be trifled with. She called an emergency meeting with her advisors, her expression grim. "We need to launch a counteroffensive," Arya declared. "We can't let the Black Hand gain the upper hand. We need to target their strongholds and show them that we're not backing down." Thorne nodded, his expression resolute. "We'll prepare a fleet and target their key installations. It's a risky move, but it might be our best chance." Ilara's brow furrowed. "But what about the Firestone? We need to stabilize it before it becomes too dangerous." Arya's eyes narrowed. "We'll stabilize it, but we need to act now. The Black Hand is growing stronger, and we can't afford to wait." As the UEF fleet prepared to launch their counteroffensive, Arya felt a mixture of hope and dread. She knew that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but she also knew that she had the strength and the determination to see it through. With her advisors by her side, and the spirit of humanity guiding her, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the fleet departed for their targets, Arya stood on the bridge of the flagship, her eyes fixed on the stars. She felt the weight of the Iron Throne on her shoulders, its energy coursing through her veins. She knew that the Firestone was a powerful weapon, but she also knew that it was a double-edged sword. She vowed to use it wisely, to protect humanity from the threats that lay ahead. As the fleet moved towards their targets, Arya felt a sense of determination. She knew that the Black Hand was a formidable enemy, but she also knew that she had the strength and the resolve to defeat them. With the Firestone stabilized and the UEF's defenses fortified, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The UEF fleet moved with precision and speed, their mission clear: to strike at the heart of the Black Hand's operations and cripple their ability to wage war. Arya Voss stood on the bridge of the flagship, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing their targets. The tension in the room was palpable, the weight of their mission heavy on everyone's shoulders. "Empress," General Thorne's voice broke through the silence. "We're approaching the first target, the Black Hand's primary stronghold on Gamma Nexus." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "Proceed with caution. We don't know what kind of defenses they have in place. Thorn's expression was grim. Understood. Our scouts have reported heavy fortifications, but we're ready for anything. As the fleet descended towards Gamma Nexus, Area felt a surge of adrenaline. The planet was a barren wasteland, its surface scarred by centuries of conflict. The Black Hand's stronghold was a massive fortress, its walls reinforced with advanced technology and bristling with weapons. Empress, Dr. Ilara's voice was urgent. We need to be careful. The Firestone's energy is still unstable. If we're not careful, it could trigger a catastrophic reaction. Area nodded, her eyes fixed on the display. We'll keep it secure. Our priority is to neutralize the Black Hand's stronghold and gather intelligence on their plans. As the fleet approached the fortress, the Black Hand's defenses sprang to life. Lasers and missiles streaked through the sky, their energy crackling with deadly intent. The UES ships moved with precision, their shields absorbing the brunt of the attacks. Empress, Thorn's voice crackled over the comm. We're taking heavy fire. I need your authorization to engage. Area's heart pounded in her chest. Engage, take out their defenses, and secure the stronghold. The UEF fleet launched a coordinated assault, their weapons blazing as they targeted the fortress's defenses. The air was filled with the sound of explosions and the hum of energy shields. Area watched the display intently, her mind racing with strategies and countermeasures. Empress, Ilara's voice broke through the chaos. We're detecting a powerful energy signature inside the fortress. It could be the source of the Black Hand's power. Area's eyes widened. Target that energy signature. We need to neutralize it. Thorn's voice was grim. Understood. Focusing all available firepower on the target. As the UES weapons converged on the energy signature, Area felt a surge of hope. If they could neutralize the Black Hand's power source, they might have a chance to end this conflict once and for all. But just as the UES assault began to take its toll, the fortress's defenses flared to life with renewed intensity. A massive energy shield enveloped the stronghold, deflecting the UEF's attacks with ease. Empress, Thorn's voice was urgent. Their defenses are too strong. We need to find another way in. Area's mind raced as she scanned the display. What about the underground tunnels? Can we access them? Ilara's brow furrowed. There are rumors of an ancient network of tunnels beneath the fortress. If we can find an entrance, we might be able to infiltrate from below. Area nodded, her expression resolute. General Thorn, send a team to find the tunnels. We need to get inside and neutralize that energy signature. Thorn's voice was grim. It'll be dangerous, but it might be our only chance. As the UEF's elite soldiers descended towards the surface, Area felt a surge of determination. She knew that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but she also knew that they had the strength and the resolve to see it through. The elite team, led by Captain Leora, a seasoned officer with a reputation for bravery and cunning, descended into the underground tunnels. The air was thick with dust and the scent of ancient stone. The tunnels were dark and narrow, their walls lined with ancient symbols and markings. Captain, Leora's voice crackled over the comm. We found the entrance. We're moving in. Area's heart pounded in her chest as she watched the display. The elite team moved with precision and speed, their training evident in their coordinated efforts. As they delved deeper into the tunnels, they encountered resistance from the Black Hand's operatives, but they pressed on, determined to complete their mission. Empress, Leora's voice was urgent. We've reached the core of the fortress. The energy signature is coming from a central chamber. Area's eyes widened. Proceed with caution. We need to neutralize that energy source. Lyra's team moved into the central chamber, their weapons at the ready. The air was thick with energy, the hum of the Firestone's power resonating through the room. At the center of the chamber stood a massive pedestal, upon which rested a glowing crystal. Empress, Leora's voice was tense. We've found the source. It's another Firestone. Aria's heart sank. Another firestone. How is that possible? Ilara's voice was grim. The legend spoke of multiple firestones, each linked to the others. If the Black Hand has multiple firestones, their power could be unstoppable. Aria felt a chill run down her spine. We need to neutralize it. Now. Lyra's team moved towards the pedestal, their weapons blazing as they targeted the firestone. The air was filled with the sound of explosions and the hum of energy shields. As the UEF's assault began to take its toll, the firestone's energy began to flicker and wane. Empress, Leora's voice was triumphant. We've neutralized the firestone. The energy signature is gone. Aria felt a surge of relief as she watched the display. The UEF's fleet moved in, their weapons targeting the fortress's defenses. With the firestone neutralized, the Black Hand's stronghold began to crumble. Empress, Thorn's voice crackled over the comm. The fortress is falling. We're securing the area. Aria nodded, her expression resolute. Well done, General. Gather any intelligence you can find. We need to know the extent of the Black Hand's plans. As the UEF's fleet moved to secure the area, Aria felt a renewed sense of hope. The Black Hand's stronghold had been neutralized, and their power source had been destroyed. But she also knew that the battle was far from over. The Black Hand was a formidable enemy, and they would not give up easily. As the UEF's soldiers moved through the fortress, they uncovered a wealth of intelligence, including detailed plans for future attacks and the locations of other Black Hand strongholds. Aria knew that they had struck a major blow against their enemies, but she also knew that the true battle had only just begun. As the fleet prepared to return to the capital, Aria felt a mixture of hope and dread. She knew that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but she also knew that she had the strength and the determination to see it through. With the firestone neutralized and the UEF's defenses fortified, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the fleet moved towards the capital, Aria stood on the bridge of the flagship, her eyes fixed on the stars. She felt the weight of the Iron Throne on her shoulders, its energy coursing through her veins. She knew that the Firestone was a powerful weapon, but she also knew that it was a double-edged sword. She vowed to use it wisely, to protect humanity from the threats that lay ahead. As the fleet arrived at the capital, Aria felt a renewed sense of determination. The Black Hand was a formidable enemy, but she had the strength and the resolve to defeat them. With the Firestone neutralized and the UEF's defenses fortified, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The UEF fleet returned to the capital, their mission a resounding success. The Black Hand stronghold on Gamma Nexus had been neutralized, and their primary power source, another Firestone, had been destroyed. The intelligence gathered during the assault provided invaluable insights into the Black Hand's plans and operations, giving the UEF a crucial advantage in the ongoing conflict. As Aria Voss stepped off the flagship, she was greeted by a sea of relieved and determined faces. The citizens of the capital had been living in fear of the Black Hand's attacks, and the successful mission had boosted morale significantly. Aria felt a sense of pride and responsibility as she addressed the gathered crowd. "Today, we have struck a major blow against the Black Hand," Aria declared, her voice strong and steady. "Their stronghold on Gamma Nexus is no more, and their power source has been neutralized. But our work is far from over. The Black Hand is a formidable enemy, and they will not give up easily. We must remain vigilant and united." The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted by Aria's words. She knew that their victory was a turning point, but she also knew that the true battle was far from over. The Black Hand was resourceful and cunning, and they would undoubtedly regroup and plan their next move. As Aria made her way to the Grand Hall of the UEF capital, she was met by her closest advisors. General Thorn, Dr. Ilara, and Senator Leora were already there, their expressions a mix of relief and determination. "Empress," Thorn began, his voice deep and commanding. "We've analyzed the intelligence gathered from Gamma Nexus. The Black Hand has several other strongholds, but they're scattered and less fortified. With the loss of their primary power source, they're vulnerable. Arya nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. We need to strike while they're weak. Target their remaining strongholds and dismantle their operations. But we must also fortify our defenses. The Black Hand will undoubtedly seek revenge. Ilara stepped forward, her expression thoughtful. Empress, we've made significant progress in stabilizing the Firestone. We believe we can now harness its energy safely, but we must proceed with caution. The power it holds is immense, and we must ensure it doesn't corrupt us. Arya felt a mixture of hope and apprehension. The Firestone was a powerful weapon, but its potential for corruption was a grave concern. We'll proceed with caution, Dr. Ilara. I want a team of your best scientists to monitor its use and ensure its stability. Leora cleared her throat, her expression grave. Empress, we've also uncovered information about the Black Hand's leadership. They're led by a man named Cade, a former UEF general who was disgruntled by the Federation's policies. He's ruthless and cunning, and he's the driving force behind their rebellion. Arya's eyes narrowed. Cade. I've heard of him. He was always ambitious and power-hungry. We need to find him and bring him to justice. Thorn nodded, his expression resolute. We'll track him down, Empress. With the intelligence we gathered, we have a good idea of his whereabouts. We'll launch a coordinated assault and capture him. Arya felt a surge of determination. Do it, and make sure he faces justice for his crimes against humanity. As the meeting concluded, Arya felt a renewed sense of purpose. The UEF had struck a major blow against the Black Hand, but the true battle was far from over. She knew that Cade was a formidable enemy, but she also knew that she had the strength and the resolve to defeat him. Over the next few days, the UEF launched a series of coordinated assaults on the Black Hand's remaining strongholds. The missions were dangerous and fraught with challenges, but the UEF's elite soldiers were determined and resourceful. One by one, the Black Hand's strongholds fell, their operations dismantled, and their leaders captured. As the UEF's victories mounted, morale across the galaxy soared. The citizens of the UEF felt a renewed sense of hope and determination, their spirits lifted by the knowledge that the Black Hand was being pushed back. Arya's leadership inspired confidence and resolve, and her vision for a united and prosperous humanity began to take shape. In the grand hall of the UEF capital, Arya stood before a holographic display showing the progress of their operations. The Firestone, now stabilized and safely contained, pulsed with a soft blue light. Its energy was harnessed and controlled, a testament to the UEF's scientific prowess and determination. Empress, Dr. Ilara's voice broke through Arya's thoughts. We've made significant progress in understanding the Firestone's energy. We believe we can use it to power a new generation of ships and technologies, revolutionizing our capabilities. Arya nodded, her expression thoughtful. That's excellent news, Dr. Ilara. But we must proceed with caution. The Firestone's power is immense, and we must ensure it doesn't corrupt us. The Lara's brow furrowed. We'll monitor its use closely, Empress. Our team is working around the clock to ensure its stability and safety. Arya felt a sense of hope. The Firestone was a powerful tool, and if used wisely, it could usher in a new era of progress and prosperity for humanity. But she also knew that they needed to remain vigilant and cautious, ensuring that its power didn't lead them down a path of corruption and destruction. As the UEF's operations continued, Arya felt a renewed sense of determination. The Black Hand was a formidable enemy, but she had the strength and the resolve to defeat them. With the Firestone stabilized and the UEF's defenses fortified, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the grand hall of the UEF capital, Arya stood before her advisors, her expression resolute. We've made significant progress, but our work is far from over. The Black Hand is still out there, and they will not give up easily. We must remain vigilant and united, working together to ensure humanity's future. Her advisors nodded in agreement, their expressions filled with determination and resolve. Arya knew that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but she also knew that she had the strength and the determination to see it through. With her advisors by her side and the spirit of humanity guiding her, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the UEF's fleet prepared for their next mission, Arya felt a sense of hope. The Black Hand was being pushed back, and humanity's future was beginning to take shape. She knew that the true battle was far from over, but she also knew that she had the strength and the resolve to see it through. With the Firestone stabilized and the UEF's defenses fortified, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Grand Hall of the UEF capital was filled with a sense of anticipation and hope. The Black Hand's strongholds had been dismantled, their leaders captured, and their operations neutralized. The Firestone, now stabilized and safely contained, pulsed with a soft blue light, a testament to the UEF's scientific prowess and determination. Arya Voss stood before her advisors, her expression resolute, as she prepared to address the gathered crowd. "Today, we stand at the dawn of a new era," Arya declared, her voice strong and steady. "The Black Hand's reign of terror is over. Their strongholds have been dismantled, their leaders captured, and their operations neutralized. We have struck a decisive blow against those who sought to undermine our unity and progress." The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted by Arya's words. The citizens of the UEF had lived in fear of the Black Hand's attacks, but now they felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. Arya's leadership had inspired confidence and resolve, and her vision for a united and prosperous humanity was beginning to take shape. "But our work is far from over," Arya continued, her voice taking on a more somber tone. "The Black Hand was led by a man named Cade, a former UEF general who was disgruntled by the Federation's policies. His ambition and power hunger drove him to seek control over the Firestone, a power source that could have corrupted even the strongest of us." Arya's eyes scanned the crowd, her expression grave. "We must learn from this. The Firestone is a powerful tool, but it is also a double-edged sword. We must use it wisely, ensuring that it serves humanity rather than corrupting us. We must remain vigilant, always aware of the dangers that lie ahead." General Thorne stepped forward, his expression resolute. "Empress, we have captured Cade and his key operatives. They will face justice for their crimes against humanity. But we must also ensure that their ideology does not spread. We need to rebuild trust and unity within our ranks." Arya nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. "General Thorne, I want you to lead a task force to ensure that our military remains united and loyal. We must rebuild trust and foster a culture of integrity and honor." Thorne bowed his head. "As you command, Empress." Dr. Ilara stepped forward, her expression thoughtful. "Empress, we have made significant progress in understanding the Firestone's energy. We believe we can use it to power a new generation of ships and technologies, revolutionizing our capabilities. But we must proceed with caution, ensuring that its power does not corrupt us." Arya felt a mixture of hope and apprehension. The Firestone was a powerful weapon, but its potential for corruption was a grave concern. "Dr. Ilara, I want you to lead a team of our best scientists to continue studying the Firestone. Ensure its stability and monitor its use closely. We must harness its power for the benefit of humanity, but we must also guard against its dangers." Ilara nodded, her expression determined. "We will, Empress. Our team is committed to ensuring the Firestone's safe and responsible use." Senator Leora stepped forward, her expression grave. "Empress, we must also address the political and social issues that allowed the Black Hand to gain support. We need to rebuild trust and unity within our society, ensuring that all citizens feel heard and valued." Arya nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Senator Leora, I want you to lead a commission to address these issues. Engage with our citizens, listen to their concerns, and work towards a more inclusive and united society." Leora bowed her head. "I will, Empress. We must ensure that our society is strong and resilient, capable of withstanding any challenges that lie ahead. As the meeting concluded, Arya felt a renewed sense of purpose. The UEF had struck a major blow against the Black Hand, but the true battle was far from over. She knew that Cade was a formidable enemy, but she also knew that she had the strength and the resolve to defeat him. Over the next few months, the UEF launched a series of initiatives aimed at rebuilding trust and unity within their society. General Thorne's task force worked tirelessly to ensure the military's loyalty and integrity, while Dr. Ilara's team continued to study the Firestone, making significant progress in harnessing its power safely. Senator Leora's commission engaged with citizens across the galaxy, listening to their concerns and working towards a more inclusive and united society. As the UES efforts began to take shape, Arya felt a sense of hope. The Black Hand's influence was waning, and humanity's future was beginning to take shape. She knew that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but she also knew that she had the strength and the determination to see it through. In the Grand Hall of the UEF capital, Arya stood before her advisors, her expression resolute. "We have made significant progress, but our work is far from over. The Black Hand's ideology must be eradicated, and our society must be rebuilt on a foundation of trust and unity. We must remain vigilant and united, working together to ensure humanity's future." Her advisors nodded in agreement, their expressions filled with determination and resolve. Arya knew that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but she also knew that she had the strength and the determination to see it through. With her advisors by her side and the spirit of humanity guiding her, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the UEF's fleet prepared for their next mission, Arya felt a sense of hope. The Black Hand was being pushed back, and humanity's future was beginning to take shape. She knew that the true battle was far from over, but she also knew that she had the strength and the resolve to see it through. With the Firestone stabilized and the UEF's defenses fortified, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the Grand Hall of the UEF capital, Arya stood before the gathered crowd, her expression resolute. "Today, we stand at the dawn of a new era. The Black Hand's reign of terror is over, and humanity's future is in our hands. Let us move forward with hope and determination, united in our mission to build a better future for all." The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted by Arya's words. The citizens of the UEF felt a renewed sense of hope and determination, their spirits lifted by the knowledge that their leaders were committed to building a better future. Arya's vision for a united and prosperous humanity was beginning to take shape, and she knew that the true battle was far from over. But she also knew that she had the strength and the determination to see it through. With her advisors by her side and the spirit of humanity guiding her, she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.